Hi, I'm Ava, and I'm going to show how to render something on Blender. So the first thing I'm going to show is how to move the cube around in your viewpoint. You click the middle mouse button, and then the camera is 0 on the number pad, and you look through the camera view. And then using the button G, it moves the object around, and then using X, Y, and Z, it locks it to a certain axis. And then with R, it rotates around, and then again with X, Y, and Z to those axes. And so I'm going to move the bottom part up. This is where the keyframes are. You click I to keyframe. So at the start, I'm going to put a keyframe to lock it in the position I want. And then I'm going to click R to rotate my cube around again. And then I will click I, and it will save my rotations to the keyframe. So then I click play, and you can watch it rotate, which I think is pretty cool. And then I go to the camera view to watch it as if I was the camera. So when it renders out, this will be the view that I will see. So now I go to shading because I think adding color is really important. So I'm going to make the cube red because I like the color red. So I'm going to go back to the layout mode, and I'm going to change it so you can see the color. And then I'm going to play it again. I'm going to shorten it so that the animation is only a certain amount of frames because I don't want it to be too long. I'm going to move the keyframe out so then it goes the entirety of the duration that I want. So now I'm going to go to the other viewpoint, and this adds lighting. So when you start an animation, it already has the lighting included. So now I'm going to add a plane so that you can see where the cube is in the space. And then I'm going to make the floor blue because, again, I like the color blue. I'm going back to the layout mode. I'm going to the camera, and I'm going to see what it looks like. And I decide that I want to add walls. So you can also move it around. S is to scale. I did forget to mention that. So you're going to see me add walls. So I just do Control C and Control V to copy. I click R to rotate again, and then to the certain axis. I was struggling to rotate it a little bit, but you can always just rotate it manually, or you can use numbers to set it to a certain angle. And then I make another wall because most rooms have 4. So then I go back to the camera view, and I click play to see what it'll look like when I render it out. And I think it's looking pretty good. So I go to render it, and I realize that it won't let me. Finally, I realize that on the side is the panel where you change where your output goes. So I change my output to be my downloads folder, and then I change the output to be a video so that when I render the animation, it comes out as an animation and not just single frame images. And so I click render animation, and it will render out, and you can see the timeline moving. It is scrubbing through the animation. And then this is the final animation. I hope you enjoyed.